The first time I saw her, she was standing in the center of a burning corridor, surrounded by bodies. Not human bodies. Worse. The kind that made your instincts scream run before your mind could catch up. Her armor was fractured, black plating split open in jagged lines that glowed faintly from within, like something alive pulsed beneath the metal. One arm hung limp at her side, the other clenched around a blade that looked grown rather than forged, curved, organic, still dripping with something that hissed when it touched the floor. The facility alarms howled overhead. Red lights strobed. Smoke curled in thick, choking waves. And there she stood, motionless, like the storm had ended the moment she decided it had. I should have run. Anyone sane would have. But I didn't. Because behind her, through the shattered glass of the containment chamber, I could see movement. Small movement. A child. I was a maintenance technician. That's it. No combat training, no hero instincts, just a guy who fixed systems on a research station orbiting a forgotten moon. Station Kepri wasn't supposed to house things like her. Officially, we studied xenobiology, harmless specimens, controlled environments, lots of paperwork. Unofficially, we experimented. We dissected. We broke things we didn't understand, hoping to learn something useful before they died. I tried not to think about it. Tried being the key word. The alien in the corridor turned her head slowly as I stepped closer. Her helmet was gone. That was the first thing that struck me. Her face wasn't monstrous. Not in the way I expected. No fangs dripping saliva. No grotesque distortions. Instead, it was sharp. Angular. Almost elegant. If you ignored the faint lines etched across her skin that pulsed with dim bioluminescent light. Her eyes locked onto mine. Silver. Not reflective, alive. And very, very aware.
Stop, she said.
Her voice wasn't translated through a device. It was direct, clear, slightly off, as if she'd learned our language by listening rather than speaking it. I froze. Another step, she continued, lifting the blade just slightly, and I will end you. Fair enough. I raised my hand slowly. Not here to fight, I said, my voice tighter than I wanted. I just saw someone behind you. Her expression didn't change. There is nothing behind me that concerns you. I swallowed. Look, I don't know what you are or what happened here, but there's a kid in that chamber. A flicker. So small I almost missed it. But it was there. She turned, just slightly, glancing back toward the shattered containment glass. That was all the confirmation I needed. Yeah, I said quietly. Thought so. Silence stretched between us. The alarms kept screaming. Somewhere far off, something exploded. Finally, she spoke again. They are not your kind. I don't care. That got her attention. Her gaze snapped back to mine, sharper this time. You should, she said. Your species imprisoned them, experimented on them. You are complicit. I shook my head. I fix broken systems. That's it. I don't even have clearance for whatever the hell this place really is. A beat. Then, you lie poorly. Yeah, I admitted. But not about that. Another pause. This one longer. More deliberate. She studied me like I was a puzzle she wasn't sure was worth solving. Finally, she lowered the blade. Not much, but enough. You may pass, she said. I didn't hesitate. I walked toward her, every instinct screaming at me that this was the worst decision of my life. Up close, she was even more unsettling. Not because she looked monstrous, but because she didn't. Because she looked like someone who could understand exactly what she was doing, and chose to do it anyway. The chamber beyond was in ruins. Containment fields flickered uselessly, glass shattered inward, and the floor was littered with equipment, broken, burned, twisted. In the far corner, huddled against the wall, was the child. Not human. Small, fragile, skin like translucent glass, veins glowing faintly blue beneath the surface. Terrified.
Alive.
I knelt slowly, keeping my movements gentle. "Hey," I said softly. "It's okay." It wasn't.
But it's what you say.
The child flinched at first, then hesitated. Its eyes flicked past me, to her, watching from the doorway.
Guarding.
"She didn't hurt you, did she?" I asked quietly. The child shook its head. Good. That was good. I let out a breath I didn't realize I'd been holding. Behind me, her voice came again. "You should leave." I glanced back at her. "You're not going to kill it?" Her expression hardened. "It is not my enemy." "Then why were you in here?" A pause. Then simply, "They took something from me." That answer sat heavy. I stood slowly, turning to face her fully. "What?" Her gaze didn't waver. "My kin." That explained the bodies, the destruction, the rage that still lingered in the air like a storm that hadn't fully passed. "You came alone?" I asked. "Yes." "You broke into a high-security research station alone and did all this?" Her eyes narrowed slightly. "Yes." I let out a low whistle. "Remind me not to get on your bad side." She didn't respond, but something shifted. Subtle, almost imperceptible, like the edge of something sharp had dulled, just a fraction. "I can help you," I said. That got an immediate reaction. "No. Listen." "No," she repeated, firmer this time. "You will not involve yourself." "Too late," I said, gesturing around. "I'm already involved. You do not understand what you offer." "Then explain it to me." Silence. Then, she stepped forward. Slowly, deliberately, until she stood just a few feet away from me. Close enough that I could see the faint cracks in her skin, like fractures in glass filled with light. Close enough that I realized just how dangerous she really was. "You think I'm a monster, don't you?" she asked. There it was. Not anger, not accusation. Something quieter, something heavier. The kind of question that isn't really about what it asks. I could have lied. Probably should have. It would have been safer, simpler, expected. But something in her expression, something tired, something worn down beneath all that lethal control, made me answer differently. "No," I said. Her eyes flickered. Just slightly. "You hesitate." "I'm thinking." "Of a lie?" "No," I said again, meeting her gaze. "Of the truth." Another pause. This one felt different, like everything hinged on what came next. Finally, she spoke. "Then say it." I took a breath. "You're not a monster," I said. "You're someone who's been treated like one." The words hung in the air. Heavy. Unavoidable. Her expression didn't change at first. Didn't react. Didn't move. Then, something cracked. Not physically. Emotionally. A flicker of something raw passed through her eyes, so quickly, it almost wasn't there. "You know nothing of me," she said quietly. "No," I agreed. "But I know what this place does to people." I gestured around us. To anything that isn't human enough. The child behind me shifted slightly, as if understanding more than we gave it credit for. Her gaze followed the movement.
Softened.
Just a little. "They took my sister," she said after a long moment. "She was contained here." My chest tightened. "Is she?" "Yes." The word was flat. Final. "I'm sorry," I said. It felt inadequate. It was inadequate, but it was all I had. "They dissected her," she continued, voice steady in a way that made it worse. "Studied her. Documented her responses as they ended her life." My hands clenched at my sides. I'd suspected. But hearing it like this, was something else entirely. And you're going to destroy the whole station for that? I asked. Yes. No hesitation. No doubt. I glanced at the child again, then back at her. And Thumb, they will be freed. And if they can't survive out there? Her eyes hardened again. They will not survive here. Fair point. I ran a hand through my hair, exhaling slowly. This place deserves to burn, I admitted. No argument there. She watched me carefully, waiting.
For what? She asked.
For the part where I tell you you're wrong, I said. That revenge won't fix anything. That violence isn't the answer. A faint shift in her posture. Skepticism. And I'm not going to say that. That surprised her.
Good.
I get it, I continued. You lost someone, not just someone family. And they didn't just die, they were taken apart piece by piece while people took notes. Her grip tightened on the blade. You don't come back from that, I said. You don't just forgive it. No, she said softly. You do not. Another silence. But this one wasn't hostile. It was shared. But if you destroy everything, I said carefully, you make sure no one ever knows what happened here. Her eyes narrowed. Explain. All the data, all the records, all the evidence. Gone. I shrugged. They'll just build another station somewhere else and do it again. She didn't respond immediately. I could see it though.
The shift.
The thought taking root. You're saying I should let them live, she said. No, I said firmly. I'm saying you should make sure they can't hide. Her gaze locked onto mine again. Sharp. Intense. Why would you help me? There it was. The real question. I glanced around the ruined chamber. At the broken equipment. At the terrified child. At the aftermath of something that should never have existed. Then back at her. Because you're right, I said simply. This place shouldn't exist. She studied me for a long time. Long enough that I started to wonder if I'd just signed my own death warrant. Then slowly, she lowered her weapon. All the way.
Very well, she said.
You will help me. I let out a breath. Good, I said. Because I already have a plan. It wasn't a great plan, but it was enough. We moved through the station together. An unlikely pair. A maintenance tech and a one-woman war. I guided her through access tunnels, bypassed security systems, rerouted power grids. She handled everything else.
Guards. Drones.
Anything that tried to stop us. She didn't enjoy it. That was the part that stuck with me. She didn't hesitate, but she didn't revel in it either. Every action was precise, controlled, necessary. We reached the central data core within the hour. A massive chamber filled with servers, glowing with the stolen knowledge of 100 atrocities. This is it, I said, moving to the main console. Everything they've done, it's all here. She stood behind me, watching. What do you require?
Time, I said.
And protection. She gave a single nod. You will have both. I got to work. Downloading everything. Uploading it to every open network I could access. Broadcasting it beyond the station. Beyond the sector. Beyond anything they could contain. It took longer than I liked. Too long. They are coming, she said quietly. I didn't look back. I know. The doors exploded inward moments later. Security forces poured in. Weapons raised. Orders shouted. Chaos unleashed. She stepped forward. Between them and me. Alone. What happened next? I don't think I'll ever fully be able to describe. It wasn't a fight. It was a storm. She moved like something beyond human comprehension. Faster, sharper, more precise than anything I'd ever seen. Every motion had purpose. Every strike ended something. And through it all, she never once looked back. Almost done. I shouted over the noise. No response. She didn't need to answer. Seconds stretched into eternity. Then, done, I yelled. She moved instantly, falling back toward me, grabbing my arm. Then we leave. We ran. Through collapsing corridors. Through failing systems. Through the dying heart of a place that deserved every bit of its destruction. We reached an escape bay just as the station began to tear itself apart. I triggered the launch sequence. The doors opened. The void beyond waiting. We boarded. The hatch sealed. And seconds later, we were gone. The station behind us burned.
Collapsed.
And finally, silenced. For a long time, neither of us spoke. The child sat quietly in the corner.
Alive. Free.
Finally, she turned to me. You have changed the outcome, she said. Yeah, I replied. So have you. She studied me again. That same searching look from before, but different now. Softer. Less guarded. You still do not see me as a monster? She asked. I shook my head. No, I said. I see someone who had every reason to become one and didn't. That time, she didn't hide the reaction. It was small, subtle, but real. My name, she said after a moment, is Vale. I smiled faintly. Good to meet you, Vale. Outside, the stars stretched endlessly. For the first time since I'd met her, she looked at them, not as a battlefield, but as something else. Something open. And in that quiet moment, I realized something important. The question she'd asked me, you think I'm a monster, don't you? It had never really been about me. It had been about whether she still believed it herself.
And now,